It's not that you don't want to go there, it's just something holds you back from going to this innocuous little market town. Spread out a map and you would struggle to point to its location, but it's there. You can practically taste it. The town itself is an ugly mix of shabby history and 70s utilitarianism that seems both foreign and familiar to you. Welcome to Marsh Haven. Welcome to Brits on Bikes.
Good evening, welcome to all our first-time listeners, and obviously you're all first-time listeners because this is our first ever episode. The gang are finally all together. Say hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Howdy.
Beautiful. So let's get started straight away with the introductions from everyone. I'll talk about the game in just a moment. Eve, if you want to start us off, if you could just give us your name and a quick description of your character.
Yeah. My name is Eve Smith. I will be playing Dee Wilson, the very super swell American that I'm sure everybody's going to love and enjoy.
And Kat.
Hi, I am Kat. I am going to play Sally Richards, who I like. I'm not sure anyone else is going to, at least player characters.
I'm sure they'll grow to love Sally. Okay, and last but by no means least.
Hi, I'm Harry, and I'll be playing the conspiracy theorist Neil Pratch.
And can we just all take a moment to appreciate Harry's awesome accent? It does make me want to melt a bit.
Very nice. I mean, that's how I'm feeling about all y'all.
Maybe we'll do that as like a Patreon reward. Harry can read you bedtime stories. Okay, Kids on Bikes. It is a relatively new game. Guys, what do you know about it? I know, Eve, you know a bit, don't you? Harry and Kat, you're fairly new to the system, aren't you?
Pretty new, yeah. Yeah, I've read through the rulebook and gone, oh, that sounds nice, but other than that, not much.
I've not even read the rulebook, so I know sweet FA.
Amazing. So for those of you not familiar with Kids on Bikes, essentially it's a collaborative role-playing game with the primary focus on working together as a team to create and tell this story. It's based in the world of, the kind of Kids on Bikes genre, so things like The Goonies and Attack the Block, I suppose, and Stranger Things, and all those kind of cool adventure stories where the kids are super smart and can track down clues, and the adults will kind of dunderheads and don't get things right. And the plan was to try and do something with a bit of a British flavour, because obviously, you know, over half the group are British. We do love our 1/4 American, don't we, Eve?
Cheers.
Look at you getting down with the lingo.
I'm starting to pick it up.
So prior to this session, we got together as a group and we had a little talk about our characters and we asked questions of one another, and it's all part of the character creation process. All I want to do to begin with is I just want to ask you your trope-specific question. So each character has a trope that ties in with a type of character from these kind of stories. So we're going to begin with Kat, who is the wannabe. Oh, I think she's sweet. Okay, so question number one is, what would it mean to be one of the popular kids?
Finally getting that acceptance that has been denied poor Sally her whole life.
Do you think she's going to get it?
Probably not. She is rather annoying.
Okay. And how does she deal with that?
Relentless optimism.
Oh, you've got to have one in the gang like that. Okay, then. So question number two, what would you sacrifice to be one of the cool kids?
Ooh,
My firstborn!
Probably not the firstborn, though, because that would necessitate a relationship. Dodgy ground, considering I think Sally's like 13, so...
Well, yeah, that's true.
I mean, there is precedent. This is possibly not the most upmarket end of the UK. Teen pregnancy capital of at least Europe, if not the world.
Are you telling me that Marsh Haven is the teen pregnancy capital of the world?
No, the UK is.
No, I'm asking you, is Marsh Haven the teen pregnancy capital of the UK?
I think that would probably throw extra complication we don't quite need right now. So
Okay. And guys, this is what it's all about, is you're going to be making this happen. I'm just here facilitating. I'm going to nudge you in directions, but it's all on you. So whatever you say, make sure you're confident in what you're saying, because it could come back, bite you on the ass.
I'm going to be so bad for this.
What did we decide in the end? Your sacrifice would be...
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't think there's much that Sally wouldn't sacrifice, really, because I'm not sure that she feels she has a lot anyway.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I was going because I mean, in my head, I was like, well, what about if would she betray someone? But she doesn't really have anyone, does she?
She'd probably betray her family, but that's quite a low bar because they're not very nice to her.
Oh,
So, question 1 for Neil. What do you think is happening in this town that nobody knows about?
there is a government test site somewhere nearby, and I swear to God I will find it.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, cool. I like that. So you're very, very certain there's this secret government test site.
Oh, 100%.
100% sure. That leads us on to your second question then. How far will you go to prove you're right?
I would literally sell my soul to the devil.
Really?
Yes.
Really? You're telling me that you would literally sell your soul to the devil?
Literally. If the devil comes up in this game and offers Neil a deal, he is going to take it.
Oh, let's get Faustian on your ass. I could do that. Right.
Sally will try to stop him.
Sally knows pentacles. All right, so we know that Neil's going to go pretty far to prove he's right. And do you think that's a trait with everything that he does? So it's not just this government test site. Is it everything he has to, prove he's right all the time?
Yeah. He's kind of a dick that way.
The arrogance of youth. And Derek D. Wilson.
D. It's D. I'm not going to steal that joke, but it's D.
It's D. Okay, so question 1 to D. How do you use your status as an outsider to your advantage?
Well, I mean, when you're an outsider, you don't have as much to lose, so you can get away with a lot more.
And do you tend to get away with it a lot more?
I mean, I don't know about get away with it, but he does it.
You haven't been in Marsh Haven for very long, D. Have you been up to much?
I mean, like, some minor stuff. Still getting my lay of the land.
Okay, interesting. All right, so question number 2. What do you find most frustrating about rarely being included?
Well, I mean, that's a tough one.
I mean, is being an outsider something new to you?
Relatively. Prior to, like, what went down in the States and, like, moving out here, he was relatively well liked. Had his own baseball team, all this fun stuff, like, plenty of friends. Then one thing led to another, a bunch of fights happened, get sent over here to live with the great uncle, suddenly just fish out of water, doesn't know what to make of anything.
Okay, so back to my original question then. What frustrates you the most about that kind of isolation?
I can't make a baseball team.
And even if you did, you wouldn't have a team to play against.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's very frustrating.
You could probably try rounders.
Have you tried to explain baseball to anybody yet?
Definitely talked about it to Sally. At the very least, enough to get Sally to go fetch the balls when she, like, knocks them out into the marsh.
I love it. Okay, cool.
Has Sally been demoted to dog who plays fetch now?
Don't even deny it. You're totally D's
Let's
lackey.
not get started on dogs in the marsh.
Okay, right. So that's our questions. Couple of things with regards to the rules. So as we mentioned in our conversation a couple of weeks ago, you won't be permitted to swear in front of adults as young people. If you do, penalties will be dished out, and
Try really hard, I
but
promise.
you might be awarded points if you can censor yourself in the most creative way possible. And I shall leave that up to you. If you can make me smile, then I might give you some points. I love it that the only rule I have to discuss is swearing. Right, okay, so I think we should just get to it. Let's just do this.
Hell yeah.
It's a dreary Saturday morning in the sleepy, nondescript town of Marsh Haven. The year is 1974. You wake up in your houses. I assume you were in your houses. Neil, what's your usual morning routine?
Let's see. So, probably gets up around 6 a.m., far too early, and just waits patiently at the door for the daily newspaper to arrive, followed by a mad rush to make sure that everything that he needs for the day is in his bag, and then spends just the rest of the morning reading as much of the paper as possible before heading off to school.
What, on a Saturday?
Oh, damn, it's a Saturday.
That is exactly what Neil says.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh my God, it's a Saturday.
Yeah.
Thankful that it's Saturday and you realise you don't have to endure another 6 hours with cretinous teachers. What would be your normal routine?
Well, having read the news and stuff, then it's probably his time to go try to find out if there's anything that didn't make it to the papers.
Okay, that sounds cool. All right, I'm just going to leave you there for a second. Kat, talk to me about your morning. Sorry, Sally.
They're interchangeable, clearly. I'm thinking Sally's also an early riser, not quite that early, but probably get up at around, she'd probably have to get up at around 7 for school, so she'd keep to that routine on the weekends. Feed her pet goldfish, who she adores more than life itself.
What's the goldfish called?
The goldfish is called Flash. When did Flash Gordon come out? Because it might be too early for that.
77, I think.
Oh, damn. Yeah,
She's precognition.
I don't know. I'm not up on my my popular movies of the early 70s.
It's all right. I may have made that up. I think it was early 80s.
Oh well, there you go. I don't know. It was the first thing that came. So feed the goldfish and make sure that the tank is all clean because she's quite an organised person. And then probably now that Neil has been up for at least an hour and probably read the entire of the morning paper, she'd probably go and try and call on him to see if he wants to hang out and be best friends forever.
Where do you live in relation to Neil?
On the next street.
Let me just pull up our generic map. You guys live in this general area here, Honeywell Gardens. I mean, that's made up of a sprawling warren of terraced houses. It's quite a enclosed community within a community. How well you know your neighbours, I will leave up to you. But yeah, so you guys live a couple of streets away. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. So how are you getting to see Neil? Are you going on your bike or are you on foot?
Of course I'm going on my bike. I am a kid with a bike.
So tell me about your bike. What does it look like?
Well, it's blue and it's got tassels on the handles because I'm a 13-year-old girl and thought that was amazing. I'm an immature 13-year-old girl. That was amazing. It's on my character sheet. Immature. and very shiny pedals.
Lovely.
And that's about all Sally cares about.
Okay, I am going to leave you poised at your gate on your bike, ready to race on over to see Neil. Dee, it's still early in the morning. What are you doing?
Sleeping.
You're still sleeping. Okay.
It's a Saturday. Of course I'm sleeping until, at least 10.
At about 9:30, there's a gentle rap on the door. You don't hear it at first, but it begins to get a little bit louder, and all you can hear is Derek, as the familiar voice of your Uncle Tommy comes from the other side of the door.
Dee grabs a baseball off the nightstand and just throws it at the door.
I was just wondering, if you don't mind, do you want some breakfast? I'll take that as a yes. Eggs? You want eggs? I can do eggs. Eggs, marvellous, yes? Hello, Derek?
Alright, fine. Yeah, sure. Fucking eggs. It's good.
Marvellous, marvellous. Okay, all right, I'll leave it downstairs for you. He trots off awkwardly, like the repressed Englishman that he is. I swear he's straight out of Merchant Ivory movie. In fact, if you'd like to see a picture of Uncle Thomas, there he is, okay? What I like about him as well, he is... Well, Dee, would you like to describe your uncle to me?
Well, Dee is not going to describe his uncle. Eve will describe his uncle as one handsome fella.
He is a bit of a dish, but I kind of like
Yes.
that idea of him being totally uncomfortable in his own attractiveness. So There he is. At about 10:30, you hear the door slam, and you can only assume that it's your uncle leaving the house. Quite where he's going, you're not sure. What do you do?
Yeah, I think that's what would get Dee out of bed.
Okay, so you get out of bed. You find that he's made some like scrambled eggs on toast and just left it on the side for you. You can see that he's left all the washing up as well, and it's looking a bit gross in the kitchen. I'm just going to leave you there eating delicious eggs.
Sounds
Neil,
like a plan.
you've just remembered that today is the day. It's the day of the Henderson warehouse demolition. The town has been talking about it for some time. Basically, the Henderson warehouses are just on the outskirts of town and have been disused for absolute years. It's been decided that they're going to be blown up. So it's become quite the talk of the town and a bit of an event for Marsh Haven.
Fantastic. Neil needs to get down there post haste.
Okay, so you head out. Are you taking anything with you?
Just my backpack, and I'll be taking my rusty old bicycle.
A rusty bike, love it. Okay, cool. So as you get out of the house, you bump into Sally, who has just kind of pulled up outside your house.
Hello.
Yes. Okay, great. I'm headed out to see some explosions and stuff. Are you coming?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, of course it is. Let's go.
So you're trundling off. Dee, what are you doing?
Let's see, what would Dee do on a Saturday? He's probably gonna go try to get up to some trouble. So yeah, Dee's going out into town.
Okay,
Wait.
you're heading out into town. Do you know about the demolitions?
I don't know. All right, pretty much the two people that Dee talks to right now is Uncle Tommy and Sally.
Okay.
So if either one of them would know and or bring it up,
Both of them most likely would have mentioned it. Sally, I get the impression is quite
Then-
excitable about anything. So
hell yes. Something exciting happening? Yes.
with a fire in your eye, you decide to head out the door. Are you taking anything with you?
Yeah, definitely taking my bag, which has got baseball bats sticking out the back as usual. And probably stealing Uncle Tommy's bike.
Honestly, you said
What
big
kind
and
of
old,
bike has
and
he
I
got?
thought like a penny farthing.
I don't know what kind of bikes y'all got over there. You ever seen one of them old like Schwinn's with like the big old banana seat on it?
Banana seat.
Yeah.
Uh-oh,
The
cultural
big long
phrasing
seat.
that eludes us. Quick. What do you mean banana seat? I've never heard of a banana seat.
The big, the real long seats. Long seats.
That big.
Maybe not quite
Listeners,
that big.
Dee is in fact just gesturing with her arms, but I am still none the wiser to what a banana seat is.
I think that's what it's called. It's been a while since I looked into like
Just realised I should have done some more research
bike
about bikes.
terminology.
It's called Kids on Bikes. Come on, people, get with the program.
Hey,
Right.
you said I didn't use it.
Banana
This is true,
seats
this is true. Okay, I
legitimately
stand
a thing.
corrected.
Look
right.
it up. You'll know exactly. You'll see it and you'll be like, oh, duh.
Okay, you head out the door, bag on one shoulder, bat slung over the other. Or have you got the bat in your hand, or is it just tucked in the top of your bag?
Yeah, it's in the bag.
Okay, yeah, you've got those on. You find Uncle Tommy's bike, and you head off in the direction of the warehouses. Neil and Kat, you cycle. Oh, sorry, Neil and Sally. I'm going to get it right one day. So you head off down Arborfield Road, and you see one or two people along the way. You might say hello, a bit of a nod, a passing gesture. As you get to the old warehouse site, the first thing you notice, the chain link fence that surrounds it has been completely boarded up. Okay, so going all the way round, it's completely boarded up. The only place that it isn't is right at the front, and you can see the warehouses in the distance. you're stood across the road. There's a fair distance for obvious reasons. There's a podium in front of it. There doesn't seem to be too much happening at the moment. People are just milling about.
Is there anything that we can climb on for a better look?
Other than trying to shimmy up the fence, which I wouldn't recommend as the building's about to be blown up, not really. I mean, it's not so crowded that, you know, you're jostling for space to see. There is a kind of informal line directly in front of the warehouses.
Of course, we are British.
Absolutely, we love to queue. So what do you want to do, guys?
Well, Dee's skipping the line going to the front.
Okay, so you've these arrived as well. Do you see these guys?
Oh, I ain't arrived.
You've arrived now.
No, Dee's going straight to the front. He wants clear line of sight on this.
A good clear line of sight.
Callously ignoring Sally as she tries to flag him down.
So you position your way in, and you're glancing around at numerous different people. This is not an official roll, so don't worry. But Dee, can you roll a D6 for me, please?
D6.
What'd you get?
4.
Okay, you got a 4. Glancing across and down the road, there is one guy that you've seen around before. He's a bit hard to miss. He's an older gentleman with a big shaggy beard pushing a shopping trolley. He doesn't seem to be speaking much, just kind of ambling down the road. It's almost as if he doesn't... he's totally unaware of what's going on today. He's just minding his own business. And you notice that on top of his head, he wears a paper crown.
Well, I mean, that's just a bum. Seen plenty of them in Brooklyn.
He's secretly the Marsh King.
Like, I mean, there's bums around. Like, Dee's used to that. So
I mean,
he's just like,
Sally.
all right.
Are you telling Dee this, Sally?
I mean, I'd be announcing it to whoever will listen to me. Whether D is among that list is neither here nor there.
So are you just like standing next to Dee right now?
Well, I did try to flag him down, so possibly yes.
Yeah. So Dee just like goes, oh, jeez. Freaking scaring the crap out of me. What are you saying?
He's the Marsh King.
Who's the Marsh King?
He's the king of the marsh.
Okay, so the Marsh King, both Neil and Sally would know all about him. Let me just bring him up for you. There he is. So nobody knows who he really is. To your knowledge, he never speaks and will only acknowledge you if you call him Highness. He can usually be found wearing a paper crown and pushing his old shopping trolley of belongings through the streets of Marsh Haven. So, Sally, are you explaining this today?
Of course. I don't
Okay.
understand how he can't know about the Marsh King. He's famous.
Not where I'm from, kid.
I mean, he's been here forever. They say he made the marsh. He's like immortal because he's been around for like as long as anyone can remember. And he wears a crown because he's a king. And I don't know what he's got at the bottom of the trolley, but they say it's buried treasure that he buried in the marsh, but then dug it up because he's a bit crazy. But yeah, he's the Marsh King. Like everyone knows this.
Yeah, it sounds like a freaking bum.
Well, I mean,
Like, I mean,
they built a town in his kingdom, so he got a bit ousted. I would never been ousted. he got.
Grumpy?
I can't think of a synonym for ousted that Sally would know.
Excommunicated.
I think that's
Okay, all right. So, yeah, I mean, the Marsh King pays you no heed at all. He's just bumbling along in his own little world. This is a fairly regular occurrence for most people in Marsh Haven. He's just a part of the landscape now more than anything. Neil, as you're glancing around, you happen to spot a man who is fiddling about with, well, Neil would think it's a very high-tech looking piece of sound equipment.
Oh.
It's like a giant black box that he's got hanging round his neck, and he also has a microphone. Next to the man is another man who is a little bit younger and seems to be talking to a small crowd of girls who are probably a few years older than you. In fact, you recognise a couple of them from the sixth form.
Okay, well, I need to head over there and find out what's going on. I head on over there and just like quietly start taking notes as I watch what's happening, trying to listen in on the conversation and such.
The man with the black box seems to be kind of twiddling some knobs and fiddling about and not really paying much attention to anything at all.
Okay.
The other man has got eyes for one thing and one thing only, and it's the teenage girls sort of right in front of him. He's a little bit older, and you can see it's all a bit of an act as well. And he just glances over to one, and he seems to be writing something on her arm. You glance over and you can hear him muttering a few words. "Who shall I address this to, little lady?" And you see the girls kind of giggling and responding.
Yeah, no, Neil doesn't care about that guy at all. He is instead going to focus his attention on the guy messing with the equipment.
Okay, are you going up to him, or
Oh,
are you
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
observing?
I'm going to be like going like maybe a little bit too close to him and like looking like around, trying to get an idea of what he's like fiddling with. Hey, what is that like? Is that like radio, or is it radio?
Well, hello there, sport.
Hi.
You're a sharp one. This is indeed a radio.
Ah, nice. So like, if you have one of those, you can like send out like broadcasts everywhere.
If I wanted to, yes.
So could you do a broadcast of like anything?
Do you really not recognize my voice?
I'm not too big into sounds. I'm more like a print culture kind of guy. So
The guy looks mortally offended, but at the same time, he's had this conversation before. He offers you a hand and he says,
They call me Butterscotch Joe.
why?
Because of my silky smooth tones that can be heard between midnight and 3 a.m. in jazz and blues with a hint of butterscotch. Only on Marsh FM.
I've listened to that. Every night. Yes, a school child, listen to your radio show, which goes from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. every day.
"Can you make a brains roll for me, please,
Okay.
Neil?"
I like Neil. Neil's a smart ass.
Just for our listeners, so this is our first roll of the evening. Now, the guys have got a set of skills: brains, flight, fight, grit, charm, and brawn. And basically, they assign a value dice to each of those abilities, and then they roll for them. Tell me, Harry, what did you get?
I got an 11.
Okay,
Yeah.
you begin to make connections, and you realise as he's talking that you might not know the voice of Butterscotch Joe, but you now recognise the voice of the man stood next to him. It's in fact Lazarus Chase, who presents the morning show for Marsh FM.
Of course. Of course.
That's a sick name. Holy shit.
With it, or is it a Showbiz name?
You don't know. You've never spoken to him.
What kind of stuff is on Lazarus's show?
Okay, so Lazarus, you can hear him smile when he speaks. This is going to be a weird British reference. Sorry, D. Think Smashy and Nicey.
Yes.
Okay. Hi there, folks. I'm here, Lazarus Chase, every day from 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. That kind of thing. He's very, very in your face. The type of music he plays tends to be generic pop. You know, it kind of goes against the grain of the adults, but isn't really that rebellious when you listen to the kind of sort of real rock music that's going on at the time. Okay?
Yeah.
So there you are, mid-conversation with Butterscotch Joe, and Lazarus Chase is right next to you.
Well, there's an important question that I need to ask. I
Who
need
are
to
you
ask
asking it to?
Lazarus Chase. I need to ask if that's his real name.
He looks over at you, almost a bit bothered by the fact that you've interrupted him having this deep, meaningful conversation with these girls. I'll tell you exactly the same thing that I tell everybody else. Lazarus is the name that you'll get. And he just turns back to the girls and carries on chatting to them.
I don't know if I can like actually accredit you to any quotes if you use that though.
He looks at you through narrowed eyes. Did your parents never tell you that nobody likes a smart ass?
They may have mentioned that. Yeah.
Piss off, why don't you? I'm talking. And all of a sudden, you see that immediate change in him.
Okay, so I put down in my little notebook, Lazarus Chase is a doo-doo.
Yeah, go on, have an adversity token.
Really?
Go on then.
Okay.
Only because I smiled, because it was the first insult of the day. Obviously,
Okay.
they will get better.
Yeah, no, that was terrible.
It was terrible, but I'm feeling generous. Plus, I'd like to explain adversity tokens to our listeners. So, adversity tokens are dished out if players fail a roll. They can use them to add extra numbers to any dice rolls that they make. You can also use adversity tokens collaboratively, so you can give them to other players in case they need to make a really important roll, that sort of thing as well. So yes, have one adversity token for being a doo-doo.
I'm really regretting that. I wish I could go back and really come up with something special.
There'll be plenty of time, mate. Don't worry about that.
The magic of audio editing, you could.
Kat and D, I left you looking at the Marsh King. What are you doing?
So, Sally?
Well, I'm just flabbergasted by you not knowing about the Marsh King. So, I mean, I can't think of anything else. Like,
What do you freaking expect from me? I've been here for like a week.
really, I've been here
Barely.
for like a week. God, it feels like forever. What did you used to do?
I used to play baseball and like be like I used to like my life, but you know, here I freaking am.
Well, that's just sad. This place is nice. I mean, we've got a king. And queen.
No relation.
Oh, I'd
You
love
know, over in the freaking States, we decided we didn't like none of that.
Well, that's why we've got a prime minister.
that.
I
As
don't
you
even know what that is.
It's all right. We don't either, to be honest. I'm not quite sure what they do.
Age yet, so
I think they're quite important. Okay, as you're amid your conversations and whatnot, suddenly you hear the screech of feedback as a figure steps up to the podium. This is Mayor Damon Hawkins.
That's another bitchin' name.
He's a middle-aged man, greying hair, glasses, quite portly, probably likes his beer, judging by the size of his belly. But he has quite an affable look about him. He steps up to the podium and begins to talk through a very crackly, somewhat basic tannoy system.
Well, good morning, and thank you for coming out on this historic occasion. The Henderson site has been part of this town for as long as anyone can remember. It is a symbol of the working man, and for many years represented the wealth of industry coming in and out of our fair town. These buildings, crueler folks than myself might argue, represent the town as it is today. Seeped in history and a little tired around the edges. But we have been given an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, a chance to see Marshhaven rise up out of the bogs and see it evolve into a town of the future.
From the middle of the crowd, you hear just some solitary clapping.
oh, I joined in.
Well, initially solitary clapping, and for a moment, everybody's focus is taken off the source of the clapping, and everybody kind of looks at Sally a bit strangely. The clapping figure steps forward towards the podium until he's directly stood in front of Mayor Hawkins. He's a man in his early 20s. He wears a leather jacket, a black beret, and black glasses. He's trying to carry off cool, but his skinny frame doesn't really do it, and the clothes are, you know, of a budget, and they just hang off him. It makes him look like he's dressed up, but he's so arrogant in the way that he swaggers in front of podium that you can see that people would miss it, and he's blissfully unaware of just how ridiculous he looks. He steps forward and stops his clapping. Once again, our fearless spokesman and leader puts our town up for auction to the highest bidder. He looks Mayor Hawkins square in the eye. Mayor Hawkins, have you ever stopped to consider what they are going to build in our town? The mayor stares over at him and says,
Look, business is business, that's the way it works, so can't have the likes of you messing things up for the rest of these good people.
Money and corruption. That's all this is. You're a crooked politician, betraying the working man, pocketing from the profits and treating us like sheep. And we're tired of hearing promises that we know they'll never keep. Mayor Hawkins looks up at him and in a flash of genius that even he doesn't realise, he says,
Did you just quote kinks at me?
Seamus takes a step back and says, that's beside the point. And Mayor Hawkins just nods behind Seamus, and a man steps forward, a portly man, and just grabs him by the scruff of the neck. Seamus gives up a bit of a struggle, and he says, you know who I am, Hawkins. I'm coming for you. You'll get yours. You see if you don't. I've got an O-level in politics. And he just gets dragged into the crowd.
Wow.
What do you
That's
do?
a fight I want to see.
That is my hero.
Heck yeah, let's do it. Fight. Fight.
As
Violent.
as the American starts chanting "fight, fight," Mayor Hawkins realizes that things are going to get a bit out of control. So he's like,
Now, where was I? Oh yes. Now, I may not have been born here, but Marshhaven runs through my veins, and in the coming months, I hope to show you all the type of town we can be. A town of the future.
this time there's a small smattering of applause, slightly more than the last time. You can rely on Sally to clap, can't you? And he says,
And now, let me hand you over to a lady who needs no introductions, Queen of the Demolitions, Nana Casper.
as he gestures to the right, a lady steps forward. She's in her 70s. She's quite glamorous for her age. Let me see if I can find you a picture. There she is. You would all know her. She is June Nana Casper, and she is the proprietor of Tim's DIY store, a store that definitely two of you have spent many a Sunday afternoon traipsing around with your parentals, looking at household items and power tools. Nana Casper steps up to the podium and gives a polite gesture that almost immediately silences the crowd. She has a very kind of unassuming presence, and she clearly has the respect of an awful lot of people in the crowd.
Thank you, Mayor Hawkins. I can't say I'm as well versed as you in speech making, but I can't begin to tell you how honoured I am to be carrying out this task. If my Tim was alive today, he would have been so proud of me. And you, of course, for your continued support of Tim's DIY and Ironmongers on Badderlock Lane, home for all your household needs and bargains.
She senses the mayor looking at her, and she smiles politely mid-flow.
Anyway, I believe you came here to see an explosion.
There is a smattering of a response from people.
Oh yeah, no, D definitely claps. To that.
And as she says it, several workmen start scurrying around and escorting those people by the podium back towards the crowd. Nana Casper remains, but the podium is taken away, and she is given a box in true Acme style with a massive plunger on it, and there's a line of cables. So she is poised and ready to hit the plunger. Where are you guys and what are you doing?
D's pushing closer. D's wanting to get as close as possible.
Oh, yeah, same.
As you push forward, those people who have been charged with kind of organising, getting the last few people back to the crowd, gesture you back towards the crowd. As Nana kind of pipes up, "Okay, everybody, could we have a countdown, please? Where should we go? Shall we say 10? And please don't count down because we know what happens then. It'll all be out of sync." Right. Okay, so tell me where you're positioned.
I guess D's as close as humanly possible.
Yeah, no,
And if
same.
that means like running for it at the last second to hop on top of the fence, so be it.
The closest you can get, if you look at the map, is the opposite side of Arborfield Road. That's where most people are. The chain link fence actually runs parallel to Arborfield Road. Okay, Neil, do me some fancy arrows.
Yeah.
There we go. So all around is a chain link fence that has been boarded up.
I bet D could jump that.
Nana starts to count down. You guys have moved as forward to make sure that you get as good a view as possible. So she counts down. We get to 5, 4, 3. Some of you hold your breath in anticipation. You can see the excitedness on everybody's face. Can you all make a brains roll?
Ugh.
How do I roll? Ooh,
There you go.
I did it by accident, but yay.
Oh, wow. Dee's a real dum-dum here.
For the sake of the viewers at home, if you could make sure that you call your rolls as well, just so that we know what they
Oh,
are.
yes. I rolled a 3
So we got-
out of a potential 4.
3 out of 4. Okay.
I rolled a 9 out of potential 12.
I got an 18.
Got an 18. Okay, amazing.
Jesus.
D, take an adversity token. Sally, take an adversity token.
Shucks.
As the countdown continues, being the conspiracy theorist that you are, obviously you know all about the subtle art of distraction.
Oh, yeah.
And instinctively, you will always make sure that you're glancing around so that you've got an absolute lay of the land. Even more so when the focus is so obviously drawn on this imminent explosion. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see a youngish man. He's in his mid-20s. He's got quite a shaggy beard. He doesn't look like he's shaved for a while, and his clothes, although relatively all right, look a bit threadbare and a little bit worn. You seem to notice that he's looking very intently at Nana Casper.
Well, of course, she's obviously a ghost.
I hate you so much right now. Okay. Obviously, you've got no time to react at all or do anything, but it might be something worth noting for later.
Yeah.
So we get to 3, 2, 1. And as we get to 1, Nana pushes down on the plunger. There is a brief moment of silence, and I mean complete silence. And then it begins, and it's not so much an explosion as you would expect to see on your action shows and films that you watch on Saturday mornings. It starts as a low rumble, gradually gets louder, so it kind of goes explosion kicks in, and it's a controlled explosion being done by professionals, and everything immediately just kind of collapses in on itself. Debris flies up. There is a huge cloud of brick dust and whatnot, and you all just get caught with bits of grit. It's nothing major. You're not going to have to dodge out of the way of flying beams or anything like that. It's just a cloud of dust hits you. What do you do as the buildings explode?
Dee just throws his arms up in the air. It's like, woo!
So typical American response, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Sally is like wincing because it's loud and there's stuff in her hair.
Neil's a bit disappointed. He thought explosions were supposed to have, like, fireballs and stuff in them.
In fact, where did he get the idea of fireballs from?
Famous 1970s movie The Avengers, obviously.
Okay, that's what I thought. Amazing. All right, so
Wasn't the Avengers a TV show in the 70s?
yeah,
Yeah. But it's not the Avengers.
no, with Patrick McGee. I would
Robert
say.
Downey Jr. Sr.
No, it wasn't Robert Downey Jr. I've got to shut up. Yeah, you get covered in a layer of dust and everything begins to settle. The noise is still reverberating and still echoing. Bits of building are crumbling and falling and settling. You hear almighty cheers coming from crowds. It's the thing that they've been waiting for the last couple of weeks. And interestingly, as quickly as it happens, people begin to disperse. It's like, we've had our entertainment, it's time to get back to the drudgery of normal life. And people slowly start to go away. Somebody grabs the podium. The mayor and Nana and a couple of people are all around just having a conversation. When you hear another roar, and looking to your right, you see a convoy of jeeps and transporters.
Oh.
Military.
Oh.
Neil's about to lose his shit.
The first vehicle to make its move into the demolition site is a transporter. and that's closely followed by a couple more jeeps. Two guys jump out of one of the jeeps as they swing round and pull up, and three more jump out of the transporter. Between them, they grab some ropes and heave up a load of board so that the front is now completely concealed. There is only a rudimentary doorway at the front. Once that goes up, two of the soldiers come out with rifles, close the door that's been cobbled together, and stand stock still.
God, Harry's face right now.
Okay, we need to get in there.
You know, normally I don't think Dee would agree with Neil, but this kind of situation, he's just like, well, I did want to play in the rubble, but now I just want to see what they're doing.
I'm really conscious that this has been a lot of me blabbering on, so go.
Okay, well, I mean, we can't just go through the front. They've got guys there with guns. Oh my god, they've got guys here with guns. Oh, this is big.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but we shouldn't
fucking-
do it at all. They have guys with guns.
No, Sally.
freaking English, I mean, come on. Beat them with, like, sticks and stuff, like, way back when.
I've never even seen a gun before. This is scary.
It's not like
seen
they'll
a gun.
shoot us. We're kids.
You notice
Let's
that
go
you're not
there
the
and
only
jump there.
people who have stopped. A few other people from the crowd who kind of hung around a bit have seen the vehicles, and everybody's looking at it a bit questioningly. Carry on.
Okay. So, I say we go a little bit further up the road, go around a corner, and try to sneak in from the back.
Right, okay. So, you know, like, there's a lot of people running around, like, breaking into places in Brooklyn back home, you know? Typically, you don't, like, jump fences into places where there's just, like, a big open field between, like, where you jump in and where you're going in the middle of the day.
So we wait until it's night?
Yeah, exactly.
But I want to go now. Things are happening now.
I have to be in bed.
Why don't you just go out? Well, yeah, it's called breaking curfew.
Plus, we're supposed to get like 8 hours sleep a night. Like, that's how you need to stay in your tip-top condition so you can take on the day.
Where'd you hear that?
Uh,
I sleep like 10 hours. This is Sunday. Like, what are you going to
you,
be doing?
you sleep 10 hours, but you refuse to like go out in the day?
Yeah, exactly. Look, I mean, what are you going to be
He's a
doing all day
vampire.
tomorrow? It's a Sunday. Like, who cares?
I don't understand these American traditions.
You just sleep in. It's fine.
Neil, why don't I'm conscious I'm making loads of brains rolls tonight, but yeah, it's going to be another brains roll from you.
I don't have a problem with this. My brains,
I know, because
my brains are doing pretty
D20, aren't you?
I think you should
I mean,
go
I could
shop
always
in-
do it like a gritty roll for, like,
It's not-
B and E.
Not quite as good as you. This one is a 10.
You are filled with excitement. This is everything you could dream and more. So you begin to kind of assess and evaluate the situation. Obviously, there are the guys with guns in front of you. There is also the issue that there doesn't see any real way of actually climbing up the boards.
Okay, so we don't have a way to climb up it yet, but
Just give each other a boost.
maybe. Or Dee said that like coming by later might be a good idea, so we could go get some ladders, come back in the dead of night, use the ladders to climb the fence. We can go to.
Grappling
Nice brain
hooks.
roll.
Oh, I should say, guys, you are more than welcome to make rolls and request rolls when you think it's necessary, okay? I'm quite happy for you to do that.
Rubbish. Okay,
Go
I
get
don't
some
think I
freaking
passed.
grappling hooks.
What
We
did you
can-
roll for?
If I was slightly smarter, I would suggest maybe tunneling instead of bringing ladders, but I don't think I passed somehow.
On a D12. No, I mean, this is the thing. The threshold for passing is relatively straightforward to pass most things. Okay, it is a kind of common sense thing. I would say with that, you would absolutely suggest tunneling.
Okay, with a 7 out of 12, I suggest tunneling instead of bringing ladders because that probably is less noticeable.
Yeah, but
Tunneling?
then you gotta sit there and dig.
I don't really have.
So,
True. It's not exactly like
So,
a
like-
brick wall.
exactly. So it's like move the board slightly push the fence up a bit and dig out under a bit. We're kids, we'd fit through. This is an out of character explanation of
What?
character.
You know,
Yeah,
we could
it's-
just give each other a freaking
looks-
boost.
I mean, how tall is the fence?
The fence and the boards themselves are about 9 foot.
Yeah, I don't think we can give each other a boost.
Boost wouldn't quite make that.
Why don't we just go ask the guys over there, you know?
I don't think that the armed guards are gonna go, oh yeah, no, totally. Here, take a day pass.
It'd be great.
You know what? I'll be right back. I'm gonna go just ask them what the building.
Oh, you're going over there, are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you head on over to see the guards.
Hey, buddy. Like, what you got back going on back there? You know?
He stares blankly into space.
Yeah, he's just gonna reach up, like, snap his fingers.
Okay,
like,
the moment that you reach up, he holds his gun to you.
Oh my god.
Step away from the area, please, sir.
yeah, Dee's just going, like, hands up, like,
Vacate
back
the
up.
area now, sir.
Dee's backing up and running.
You only have to take about 2 steps back before the gun goes back up again. They're not quite the guards at Buckingham Palace, but they mean business.
Dee's, like, I don't know, halfway, like, behind a car or something. He just, like, looks over and he's like, "You freaking psychopath!"
You get no reaction from him at all.
Yeah, so
So they don't do day
that
passes.
way.
I don't think that we should be jumping the freaking fence. They're going to jump away till pointing a gun at me.
I'm interested to know, Neil, what's your ultimate goal for this? Why do you seem so desperate? Like the moment they came in, you're like that, gotta break in.
I mean, why would they be completely boarding the place up and sending in armed personnel to
Instantaneously
Yeah.
after the
Yeah.
explosion.
The dust
That
hasn't
is
even settled.
why.
exactly? It's just some old warehouses. Why would they need like this?
To contain
To
this
be
reality.
that fast.
Exactly.
Because it almost feels... I don't want to be the one to say it because Dee's a fucking idiot. But can I say it as Eve, what I'm thinking? There is totally something secret underneath of that warehouse. that they
There's
don't want people to
totally
find.
something secret underneath the warehouse.
Speculate away,
Because
my
otherwise,
lovelies.
why would they need to do it so quickly? Like, why would they need to move in that
Exactly.
fast unless they were worried somebody was going to go farting around in there?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have been stood out here for well, it's probably been about 10 minutes. Just you kind of throwing around theories. Neil, obviously, you're taking the high ground with your vastly superior knowledge of kind of conspiracy
that's
theories.
definitely a Neil theory.
Yeah.
You are loving this every single minute of it.
I'm telling you, there are peat mummies down there. There are normal mummies. There are mummies with other names than Pete.
see, D was initially thrown off by having the gun pointed at him, but now he's like, you know what? No, screw these guys. I want to go in there and break some of their stuff.
Break some of
Point
that
the
broken
gun at
building.
After about 10 minutes, you hear another explosion. This one is not as loud.
Like kind of like a
A secret explosion.
I mean, it's still kind of prolonged. It's still got that kind of rumble about it, but it doesn't sound quite as loud as it once was. After the explosion, about 60 seconds goes by, and you just hear a second big kind of more of a crash this time.
They've blown through the floor.
Okay. I think it's time that we got on this, finding out what's going on here.
yeah. No, I won't wreck some stuff.
Where is Nana Casper's store?
Nana Casper store. If you look on the map, can you see Tim's DIY?
Yes, I see it. So would we be able to dash, not following the road, but
Yeah, cut across the
could
field.
we cut across the fields and stuff to get there?
Yes, you could. It's probably about maybe a 10-minute cycle.
I say go over there, see if we can borrow some ladders.
Why the ladders?
They're easy to
We
climb.
could just give each other a
You could
boost.
carry on a bike.
I mean, if we boost each other, we can maybe gain, what, like 3 feet? And I don't know about you, but like, I don't think Neil would be able to climb the rest of the way. Unless
Unless.
Sally on Neil's shoulders, Neil on Dee's shoulders.
Okay, you'd need somebody to actually, like, lift you up. Which, like, I don't know.
No. This is
I don't know where your brawn's at, but
you've
mine's
never
a
tried doing
D8.
this before. This is totally something you can do. Like, I have done this before. Me,
Yeah.
Harry, not Neil.
Me, Cat, we made a human pyramid before. We didn't
Exactly.
do it on shoulders.
Exactly. We could
Yeah.
totally do this with Sally, Neil, and Dee. 100%.
Yeah, but somebody's gonna need to pull the rest of y'all's
Someone's
up.
gonna need to convince Sally that that's a good idea because I think she's too scared for that. Those guys with guns.
I mean, we can at least have like Sally looking over the fence.
You know
at
what,
that point.
Sally? At this point, Dee just like reaches behind his back, grabs the bat, just like pulls it right out of the back.
Whoa.
I got freaking Louis right here. They ain't got nothing on me.
Louis?
Yeah,
You're back.
genuine Louisville slugger.
Of course.
Pops gave it to me. Top of the line. All the pros use them.
But like we can have Sally looking over the fence at first to let us know what's going on.
Oh,
And then
yeah,
we can
no, I guess.
and then we can get like a better idea of what to do next.
Oh gosh. Okay. I guess.
Wait, hold up. Is D the strongest in terms of brawn with a D8?
No, I've got the same brawn actually.
Well, it sure as hell is not Neil.
Sally's got a little muscle.
Well, it's because I had to make my charm the worst, which meant I just kind of had to stack all the other things I should be bad at higher up than charm.
All right, guys, I'm going to need you to make a choice then. So what have you decided to do?
I think we're going for a human pyramid, aren't we?
We're going for the human
Are we
period.
are we doing stacking up
What, right
to take a
now?
look right now?
Well, we'll go around the back of the lot.
Yeah, and
As-
then
Bill
we'll
suggested.
figure out what else to do, like in terms of if we hop the fence from there. So yeah, let's go do that.
Okay, so you cross the road,
I think we
and the soldiers in front of the warehouse site just watch you as you walk along in front of it and begin to go down. Which side are you going?
I think we're gonna go on the left side.
As you go down the left side of the site, you realise that there is another pair of soldiers stood sentry at a second door.
Oh no, is there one on every side?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I guess we gotta keep
But
like
go all the way
Yeah.
around.
You're going to go all the way around.
Keep our distance.
Are you going to
so it
keep?
just
Are
looks
you going
like
to keep
we're
going the way that
curious.
you're going at the moment?
Well, yeah, it'd be really suspicious if we just suddenly turned around as soon as we saw them.
Okay, so you follow that road up from Arborfield, but a little bit closer to the actual site, so between the red line and the road. As you pass the sentries, they pay real good attention to you. They don't give any sign of malice or any sign of aggression.
They're very clearly like heads turned.
Yeah, they're very clearly looking at you in a non-judgmental, non-prejudiced way that suggests that they could probably get nasty on your ass.
That sounds quite judgmental and
Just
prejudiced.
we're just walking.
Yeah,
Be,
we're just
you
some
gotta
lovely
be
little
real
kids.
casual.
We're just
like
going to
you
Sunnydale
belong.
Crescent. This just happens to be the quickest way. from where
Exactly.
we're standing.
Why are you giving me so much exposition? Says the soldier. Sorry, I should have asked. Are you saying that out loud to the soldiers?
No, I don't think so. Maybe because I probably wouldn't know the name of the road.
All right, no problem. So you continue up and they follow you. As you round the corner, you again come to some more boarded up fence, and you're a bit closer now, so you can see that actually the corners between where the fence is, you can see that the boards themselves are totally seamless. They are like sealed shut, like it's almost
Yeah, this isn't some hack job fence.
They
This
didn't
is
actually order it, they just
quality.
put a box and slid it over the top of the fence.
Yeah.
kind of, yeah. That's kind of how it feels.
I can tell you that none of the local joiners did this.
Wait,
Please support local trade in your area.
say we keep just like walking forward,
Yeah,
right?
you-
Look like we're going up that way.
As you round
Slowly,
the corner,
Peter.
you realise that there's no doorway in this side.
Perfection.
But are there
bad,
sentries,
right?
and are the others still following us?
They're not following you. They stayed in their positions.
Okay, they're just staring.
Well, you're probably out of line of sight now, so
Okay.
you're gone round the corner. If you're looking approximately where the door should be, if there was one, but there isn't. There's no sentries. There's no door. It's just flat board.
All right, quick, come on.
Yeah.
But they saw us go
Yeah.
around here. I thought we were coming back later.
I mean, if we
We're taking a look,
do the
we're
tower
looking.
first, and then we can come back later.
Oh, I don't-
Yeah, we
I
see
don't like
if it's
this idea.
necessary. Neil, get up here.
Okay.
Sally, get up.
I would like D. Can you paint this picture for me? Can you tell me what's going on? Sally, have you agreed to get involved?
Very reluctantly, but
Okay.
Yeah, because Dee told her to.
Dee and Neil, okay? Peer
Hmm.
pressure is very dangerous and it should be taken very seriously,
So-
kids.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it could get
Dee
you
drops
shot.
the backpack and just Neil gets down onto one knee and it's just like, go on, hop on up.
Okay,
Like
I hop on
Neat.
up.
Can you make a brawn roll for me, please?
who? Me?
Neil, you're getting up onto D,
Yes.
onto his shoulders.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, make a brawn roll for me.
Who?
Neil.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, and
Oh,
my dice explodes.
how fabulous. So let's just talk about exploding dice for a moment. If a player rolls a dice and they get the maximum on that dice, they can re-roll. And you can re-roll and re-roll as many times as you explode, thereby creating something quite special and marvellous.
Oh, okay. So the second roll was a 3, so 4 plus 3, and I have a +1 to my brawn because I'm a teenager.
Yeah.
I have 8.
You manage to fairly easily scramble up onto Dee's shoulders. Dee, can I ask you to make a grit roll for me, please?
Oh, hell, yes.
Because I think this is about
determination.
determination as much as it is about brute strength.
Yeah, I got that. D is one gritty mother effer.
Okay, at the moment, Dee is on the ground, solid as a rock. Neil is on Dee's shoulders, and he's probably about maybe 3 feet. No, maybe about a foot and a half away from reaching the top.
Okay, Sally. Sally, you're up.
Sally,
Okay.
in order to achieve this, you're going to need to climb up onto D and then onto Neil and onto his shoulders. That should get you high enough to peek over the top of the fence.
Oh, God. Okay.
The first thing I'm going to ask you to do is, can you make a strength roll to climb up D?
Is that brawn, you mean?
Oh, brawn, yeah, my bad.
6.
You scramble up. It's a little bit harder now. D, I need you to make a grit roll for me, please.
Oh, no. That's a 3.
Take an adversity token, please.
3 out of 20.
It happened.
Sally, you figure it out, a method of climbing up. Unfortunately, as you get your knee onto Dee's shoulder, where Neil's foot is as well, it hits a nerve, and
Oh, I'm
Dee
sorry.
kind of just spasms uncontrollably,
Oh, no.
My swinging on.
causing Neil just to topple off and fall flat on his face.
Ow. I really
Oh,
didn't do that.
jeez.
Here, what do you think you're doing?
That was my nose.
Suddenly, you hear a voice coming round from the other side of the building. One of the sentries has come round and is looking right at you. He's started to walk over, gesturing at you, trying to figure out what it is you're doing. Come here, you can't be round here. These are private property, don't you know?
I run.
No, he didn't though.
Okay, make a flight roll.
I'm good at that one. It's a 15 and I have +1 because I'm technically a child, so that is 16.
16.
Technically.
Yep, you begin to run and you are way out in front. You clearly have had enough of this tomfoolery for the day. Neil and Dee, what are you doing?
Well, what I'm picturing is the awkward second where Neil starts to explain, sees Sally's gone, looks at D, looks back at the guard, looks at D, looks back at the guard, and then bolts.
Yeah, Dee's just staring at the guard. He's like, "All right, guys, you ready to going out?" Like, looks behind him. Everybody's fucking gone. Dee takes off running.
Hey, you guys! Okay, yep, you head off. I'm guessing that you're all pretty intent on looking straight ahead of you. Are you following Sally?
Yes.
Okay,
So I'd be looking back to check that they are following, because the intent was not to abandon everyone, it was just to get out.
just to get
I mean,
back on.
are we like actually in the marshy bit of town right now?
No.
Okay.
Although it's called Marsh Haven, the marsh is on the outskirts, okay?
Okay.
Sally, you glance over your shoulder and you can see the others at a distance behind you. You also happen to notice that the guard, the sentry that you saw, seems to be just stood in the spot where you were originally and is just kind of looking at you now.
We're just kids having some wholesome fun. So that's...
Are you saying this while running?
No, I'm thinking it. I'm willing the guard to believe it, that we're just kids having wholesome fun.
Sally, can you tell me which way you're running?
I'm not exactly sure where we were.
Okay, so can
To
you
the
see...
nearest populous area.
Okay, so you were at the northern point of Henderson Warehouses.
Okay, then
There where that pink circle's popping up.
okay, then I imagine I would be running for like here, far enough, like enough to go around the guard, out of his reach, but still in the direction of houses and civilization.
I'll have you heading off down the road that you've indicated on the map. What's the road called, by the way?
Apple Street.
Apple Street. Okay, Apple
There
Street
used
it
to
is.
be apple trees that grew along it, and then
I
they
love
chopped them all down because the roots were interfering with the foundations of the houses. And it's all very sad.
Dark times we're living in. Right, okay. So, yep, you scuttle down Apple Street with Neil and Dee fast on your heels. Have you got a plan at all? What do you want to do?
Not at all. I want to run until I can't see the guard over my shoulder anymore.
Well, you run for a little ways. I mean, once you're on the street, you can duck behind houses, and there's plenty of places for you to just go and be a little bit discreet, so as not to be noticed. I mean, what you fail to realise is the guard doesn't really give a shit. He's kind of stopped, and he's like that, bloody kids. So yeah, you just stop, and what do you do as you see Sally stop?
Slow down?
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like, stop with her.
Yeah, once everybody's slowing down, that's when Dee's gonna like kind of chill out a little. If we can running off without me.
Okay, so that didn't work.
We're following.
Wait, all right. So got that place down like a freaking Fort Knox or something.
Time for a new plan.
Oh no.
It involves
Begin
ladders.
to like the idea of tunneling.
I have a fear that all of your plans involve ladders.
Now listen.
The
Yes, but
grappling hooks. Grappling hooks. I'm telling you. I've always wanted to use a grappling hook.
I can't do that rope climbing thing in PE. It's too hard.
yeah, no, same.
Really?
I mean,
Okay,
I
guys,
used
if I can just stop you for a moment, you're still in the middle of the street. Can I ask? I mean, you reluctantly joined these two in the last kind of few days, but is there somewhere where you normally hang out, or you can go to sit down and talk?
I think Dee's still in the market for a place like that.
Okay, so yeah, hang out.
if we can't like do this on Apple Street, then
Where can we do it?
maybe we can head down Microsoft Road.
You son of a bitch. Microsoft Road. You know those words mean absolutely nothing and have no context whatsoever in 1974.
Well, soft means something.
Well, micro means something, but put them together,
It's just small soft. It's small soft road.
it's a small...
Small and fluffy, like my dog.
All right. So why have you headed down Microsoft Road? What is there?
There's one of those little children's playgrounds that we're far too old to use, but
Oh,
kids
yeah.
always hang out on the swings.
Yeah. It's
Okay, so Microsoft Playground.
The soft
And it's
spot.
it's your kind of it's kind of your traditional kiddies playground. It's got like a little house with windows.
See what I did there?
And there's a rocking horse and a
One of those big tire swings.
you can
Oh,
have a
hell
tire
yeah.
swing.
I love
Anything else you'd like?
a slide.
Definitely a slide.
yes, and
In fact, there's two
There's
slides.
a-
There's a big slide and a junior
We're
slide.
spoiled.
a roundabout which doesn't work anymore.
Yes.
Yep.
That's literally exactly what I was going to say.
And when you arrive
trying to
there,
think of
it's
the
just
word.
going round all by itself.
But it's making
Yeah,
it
whenever
friends.
anybody gets on it, it doesn't work. Just like stops.
All right,
Piece
so
of junk.
you've decided to scarper a little bit further away from the warehouses. You've headed over to the playground.
Okay, so I haven't managed to sell anyone on the ladder side.
I think I'm the main point of resistance, but I don't want to carry a ladder there and then have to run away again carrying a ladder.
Oh, but if they can't see us, then we won't need to run away.
But
How
they'll
would
see
they
the
not want
ladder.
to see us?
What if we come back at night wearing black?
Is the ladder also wearing
I
black?
don't really
I
have
mean, get
any
some
black
black
clothes.
Do you have any black paint?
Not yet.
Do you have any freaking money?
Not on my character sheet.
Have you got any money in your backpack?
Not currently.
I'm gonna say you would. You may have just like a pocket of change, just like a couple of pence.
But a halfpenny. They still exist.
A
Just-
penny
No,
farthing.
we're post decimalisation now.
Yes, but for the first few years of decimalisation, they still had half pennies.
Oh, they they had the half pennies right up until about 1983, 84, because I remember them only just though.
See? So halfpence.
Okay, yeah. Halfpennies.
Sorry.
These got $2, like $2 in
So
his
that's
pocket.
like
I will trade you all of my pennies for your American dollars.
Not taking a freaking penny.
How
Worth
about
100 pennies.
I mean, I also have a half-eaten corned beef sandwich that I'll trade for you.
I've seen his backpack.
Maybe
it's true.
later. I'm not hungry right now. How about this? We disguise ourselves as soldiers.
Okay.
I love this idea.
We just need to get, a freaking soldier costume.
I love how naughty you are.
So, are we gonna steal some of their uniforms, or are we gonna go to a costume shop?
I think if we were gonna steal one of their uniforms, we'd have to sneak in there first, and that kind of defeats the purpose of the uniform.
So we go to the costume store.
Yeah, who do we know that would have a uniform?
I imagine
You know,
I
know any
mean-
soldier
the
types?
WI would make them for the parades that happen in these kinds of towns. Or the PTA would get very involved. My mum used to do that when I was little. She'd make all
Oh,
the costumes
hang
for
on.
the
What about, does our school have the school that we all go to? Do they have a school play?
They
Do they have a
must
school
do.
play? Yeah,
And
I mean
have-
that would be something that would be done by the staff and students.
And have they ever done a
I
play which
like-
included army uniforms?
It just so happens that several of the star performers at Kingsford Comprehensive have just finished a production of Journey's End. So they do have soldiers' uniforms. However, they are World War I soldiers.
I mean, it's close enough, right? We'll just tell them that
What about,
our new
World War
uniform is
II?
in the wash.
I just have this vision that you're going to end up looking like Jawas, just in these oversized uniforms, just
what?
marching along.
First of all, I fucking love that everybody is taking this plan seriously.
I know. I made such a fuss over ladders, but stealing uniforms and just being soldiers, that's totally fine.
Second of all, hell yes, let's go get some World War One uniforms, break into this place, and then try to walk through it very nonchalant.
I love the fact that you have absolutely not justified your reasons for wanting to break in at all. It's just like, yeah, we got to do that.
I mean,
Okay, I can tell you right now, I have literally broken into places just because I'm like, I want to know what's going on in there.
we're dumb
Yeah, I mean-
kids.
I'm just very
Like
susceptible to peer
me
pressure.
as Eve has literally done B&E just because I've been curious.
I may have brains, but I have very little sense.
High int, low whiz.
Yeah. D has no brains, but is very gritty. So like after that guard like freaking pulled the gun, now he just wants to do it, just out of spite.
Yeah. So, all in favor of going to Kingsford Comprehensive to steal some World War One era army uniforms, say aye.
Freaking I.
Aye.
Oh, I've been outvoted.
As you begin to formulate your plans, Sally, you see coming over, I wouldn't say the horizon so much, but in the distance, you see a figure shuffling along, pushing a trolley.
Is it the Marsh King?
It's the Marsh King.
Maybe he has uniforms.
In his magical trolley of mystery.
Well, he does have a trolley that is kind of laden with what can only be his kind of personal effects. You can't really make out what's in it. It's just stuff.
Can I approach him and greet him appropriately as, "Hello, Your Highness"?
At the words "Your Highness," he just kind of looks up from his stoop at you quizzically.
I don't know what to say now. I wasn't expecting a reaction. Hi.
He remains silent.
Yo, buddy.
His eyes snap over to D, and he tilts his head inquisitively. He's not that far away from you now, and you can see that D, this is your first kind of real kind of close up of him, and you smell him before you see him. That's for sure. And he's got like this kind of big grey matted beard that covers half his face. So all you've got is small black round eyes, sort of looking at the three of you quizzically.
Hey, Neil, you know you want to join in?
Hello, Your Majesty.
His eyes dart over to you, but he remains silent.
We were wondering if you knew anything about the old Henderson warehouse and what they're doing there.
If you got any uniforms, that'd be swell.
Yeah, that would be great.
He remains silent. He looks at you for a few moments longer, and he shuffles off, pushing his trolley.
All right then, keep your secrets.
He turns
See, now-
as he hears your voice, Neil, and he looks back at you one last time. It's... You just spoiled the moment. God damn it.
Sorry.
He turns round on hearing your voice again, Neil, and looks at you. His eyes, whereas they were kind of small and black before and barely there, they seem to have gotten a little bit bigger, but they are completely black as he speaks in a low, rasping voice. It's coming, Neil. I don't know when, but it's coming. And he lets in a huge breath and then just collapses on the floor. And I'm going to leave it there for tonight.
Oh my
Just killed the Marsh King. Good job, Neil.
Oh my god, I killed
Right.
the Marsh King. I can't believe I killed the Marsh King.
I didn't even know it's your name.
That's where we are at the moment. I kind of apologise to you guys and our listeners. It was led quite heavily by me for the first half. I'm not going to lie. I'm still nervous as fuck. This is my first homebrewed game. I've never run a homebrewed game before. So plus it's the first time I've use this system as well. But I hope you enjoy what you've heard so far, and I really, really hope that you continue listening to us, because we've got a whole host of things that I'm sure are going to happen to our 3 intrepid investigators. So I'm going to wrap it up there, but before I do, let's just do all the official stuff, okay? So first up, can you make sure that you keep a tally of your adversity tokens wherever you need to? I think, yeah, I maybe gave out 1 or 2 for all those failed rolls.
And one for the most pathetic insult I have ever given anyone.
Yes, do. Okay, so first up, yeah, if you're enjoying what you're listening to, do feel free to give us some feedback. Or if you're not enjoying it, do feel free to give us some feedback. We're hardy, we can take it. But you can reach us over on Twitter. Our Twitter thing, what's it called? Is it a handle?
Twitter handle, yeah.
It's a handle.
Yeah, I'm new to Twitter. I'm still trying to get my head around it. Yeah, but our Twitter handle is @ImpAngry, and you can follow all our Brits on Bikes related news there. And yeah, just come and say hi. And if you're feeling super generous, you can head on over to Patreon. Just simply search Brits on Bikes on Patreon and check out some of the things that we've got lined up for those of you generous enough to donate to the cause. But that said, we'd love to hear from you. We really want to kind of sort of help build a real Kids on Bikes community. And we're already reaching out to a couple of podcasts that are already doing it. And I'm going to take this moment just to recommend the Kids on Bikes podcast that is already playing on iTunes and various other places. Their Twitter is @kids_bikes. But I would strongly recommend you guys listening to that and their first story arc, which is just completed, but a lot of fun. Obviously, it's set in the States as opposed to our one. But yeah, we love those guys, and I can't wait to hear more from them. So if you want to reach me, I'm at Jimmy Sprinkles. That's 2 S's at the end. Eve, where can people get hold of you should they want to?
@CopperHarpy on Twitter. Copper as in the metal, Harpy as in the bird monster.
Sally,
Yeah.
what about you? You got anything you want to plug or any deets you want to hand out to the public?
No, I'm much more of a shadow on the internet. I don't actually do social media.
Okay,
so-
yeah, we'll be. I'll talk on behalf of you, Sally.
Yeah.
Okay, I may even talk in character as Sally.
Yeah, just send the hate mail to him. It's fine.
And Neil.
You can find Harry at Harry_WHI on Twitter.
Okay. Guys, thank you so much for listening to our first episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I think it can only get better from here on in. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm super excited to see what you come up with next. Any highlights at all, guys?
God, I'm still blown away that we're going with the freaking disguises. Yes.
It's such a
Yes, I'm so excited.
I love the fact that it's kind of, yeah, let's just roll with it, because but that's the beauty, isn't it? It's kids, and kids don't have they don't have that many boundaries, and if they have an idea, they roll with it. They're imaginative, and they just go for it. So I think you're playing it totally the right way. So at the moment, we've left you in a park with an unconscious bum next to a trolley. I can't wait to see what week 2 has in store. So this is everybody from Brits on Bikes saying come back next week and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.